I'm going to have Jeff start wearing glitter.
Yes. That was like I hated strip clubs because of the glitter. That was the only reason.
So when we were still like hooking up, I would wear glitter specifically because I knew I was going to leave it behind.
Bobby pins were always my thing. Every like weekend there would be bobby pins on my nightstand. I'm like, they're doing this on purpose.
Absolutely. I left my panties there. I mean, I did all kinds of shit. Yeah.
I made her wear other girls' panties home.
No, he didn't.
Like Robert Plant, if you ever see a video of Robert Plant, he's wearing a shirt that's way too small for him. The lure is that it was from the girl that he fucked the night before.
That's I'm Addicted to Love, right?
Whole Lot of Love.
Whole Lot of Love.
Where he like has an orgasm on.
But I mean that he's the singer of
Led Zeppelin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fucking terrible music.
It's
right up. It's right up there as bad as Pink Floyd.
So I do not like Pink Floyd other than their commercial hits like Money and all that shit, but that's just because it's familiar.
Who did Teacher, Leave These Kids Alone?
That's Pink Floyd.
Yeah, that was a good song.
Yeah, see, like they have a few, but Led Zeppelin, a lot of their shit is unlistenable. Like they were all on acid. They like there's this other thing where somewhere at some point John Bonham, the drummer, did a 4-hour drum solo. Who wants to go to a concert to listen to drums for 4 hours?
How do you do a 4-hour drum solo? Like what chemicals
cocaine.
are those?
Exactly.
That's a lot of cocaine.
But without them, we wouldn't have heavy metal because that was like the demonic rock and roll back then, and then it changed to heavy metal eventually.
I was listening to Motley Crue the other day.
I've been all about that, like AC/DC, Motley Crue, all that shit for like the past month.
That's what we're going to listen to during the apocalypse. All right, guys. Episode 32, question and answer, members only. We've got the Philippine Nomad. Good day, John and Amanda. When you have to do it all over again, what type of business would you focus on? Products versus services, or combo of both? Commercial, business to business, business to consumer versus marketing to niche markets like farm, homestead, etc. Mike Loco E, the Philippine Nomad. Go ahead.
Oh, I have no idea.
I think we'd keep doing the same thing. As far as business to business, that means wholesale. I can't build enough product. I can more than sell all the product, so we might as well sell direct to consumer. If you're selling to businesses, you're selling to fewer customers, right? I would rather have a lot of customers than a concentrated, smaller group, while it is easier, but I just don't have the capacity. So, I mean, we would keep doing what we're doing. And then as far as, I don't know, like agro-tourism or something like that, I don't really see how you would do it business to business. Like you need those people to come here. And then for every person that you come in contact with, they're going to tell a couple people. So exponentially that wildfire grows and you could turn it into something else or perhaps scale it. So being that you're asking us what we would do again, I don't think we would do anything differently again. I would do it all way faster.
Yeah, and it comes down to what you think you can be the best at, I think. Because he was saying products or services, you make the best product. You might not be able to offer the best service, whatever it is that you want to do, you know? So for you guys, it would just be making the best product, whatever it is, you know?
Right.
But, never mind, I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, it's like the sewing videos, right? There's so many people that are very interested in how you do this, but it's a very close held secret because everybody looks at everybody as competition.
Yeah.
We've been doing these videos and we get new customers because of the videos, right? Making the videos. You'll get somebody that will go out and get a sewing machine. I'm always surprised when I see the orders come through from people that do sew. I'm like, man, this guy sews some really neat stuff. Yeah. He's buying a backpack, right? He's not buying my backpack to copy it. And even if he does, whatever, he could have somebody else buy it. At least I got his $350 if that's what we're doing. But that's not what it's about, man. Those guys are going to send business to us. When I'm friendly with somebody, I tell other people. There's a company called GoodWorks, and there's another Camel Chops. Both those guys are on Instagram. and they sew some really neat stuff. Not the stuff we sew. Like, he does a live, and I'm on his live pretty frequently, and he jumps on mine. I like them dudes. Yeah. Like, I think I've been in the business way, way longer than them. They all have stuff that I could totally learn from them. And making those videos, we just build a product. We're starting to give them away on the next video. So the item we built prior, so people are watching for that. People are obviously watching it because they bring it up a lot on my live feeds.
That's what I was going to say.
And then the live feed stuff, people are always involved in things they don't like. And that's more those shorts, right? You take those shorts and chop them up all crazy. They have named off 100 different people that we're talking shit about. And we didn't talk shit about anyone. Like, exactly. They're naming shit and they're like calling the war. Fuck no, we weren't talking shit about Coleon. Not at all. They're like Demolition Ranch. I'm like, no, I like Matt. Like, Chris Costa. He's been sitting here. Like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Exactly. It's so funny because it's just like, oh, those are the guys that you don't like.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
it's
you projecting. Yeah.
Exactly.
A dude's like, I'm unfollowing your channel. Maybe you don't know this, but when I click on your name, I see every move you've ever made. You have to follow to unfollow. I know you weren't followed. Okay, you're unfollowing, and if I were you, I would remove this because you just destroyed your business. Right, after 35 years, I have destroyed my business. Believe me, I have done shit that you would commit suicide over. Like, it just but for every one dude commenting, there's 1,000 eyeballs, right? And I only need 10 of them to cross and check out the website.
So that's what I was going to say that I forgot. You're talking about wholesale versus direct to consumer. If you have for instance, your suppliers, you have more than one supplier.
Yes.
And you do that specifically because if one person doesn't have what you need, you can go to the other.
Yes.
Now, if you have 10 wholesale customers and 20% of them drop off, that's a huge chunk of your business.
Huge.
But if you have 1 million direct-to-consumer customers, it's still a lot of people, but it's not a huge loss. You know?
Right. So we sold to ADS, right? Big military vendor. Aquatech, Dive Tech, those are prime vendors. Brownells, we sold to Brownells. So Brownells is like, hey, we want all these things. Well, that takes all my capacity. Mm-hmm. And it's never a problem until it's a problem, right? So John Carver, who owned Eagle, who now runs Atlas 46. When I was young, 21 maybe, he said, look, man, I know you want to grow and you want to get all these employees and stuff. He said, there are a lot of times when I made more money with 10 employees than now that I have 1,000 employees. Mm-hmm. He said, we would do these government contracts, and they always want a quantity discount, and they want a time discount if you meet the deadline. If they pay you, if you don't meet the deadline, there's penalties to it, and there's an inspector up your ass all the time, and if she's having a bad day that day, you're going to have a bad day. Even my girls working in here worked at places that did government contracts, and they always tell horror stories about the inspectors that were there those days. So he said, it's easier. He said he made more money and definitely had a lot more fun when they were smaller. Him personally, not the corporation, but him personally. But he said, we get these big government contracts, these millions of dollars of contracts, and we're shut down for 12, 18 months. And then when you're done with the contract, if the president has changed or the color of the gear has changed or whatever, he's like, now we come back and we haven't been there for our individual customers and small law enforcement agencies. So it's a bunch of work again to build that up. Like, you're just kind of in limbo. He's like, there's a lot of times when we're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in payroll. And he's like, the day we write the check, that money's not even in the account yet a lot of times. So, so it's like that. I don't remember why I went off on that, but
talking about the build videos and
so the build videos. So yeah, I just need that. I need dispersal, right? And nowadays, like, we used to have to run ads and show up at trade shows and convince people and show them why our stuff was so good and all that stuff. You guys have an advantage that we never had. I can literally talk to 100 people. I can speak into this and it'll digitize it. I can go through my social media and click the dudes, and I can send the same message to 100 people literally all around the world
in a second
at 2 a.m. in the morning, and then go to sleep. and wake up and have an answer from at least half of them when I wake up. Everything is seamless. Like, you have advantages right now, and people are so fragile now. Like, they have no idea what difficulty is, and they can't make it work even with these technologies. Like, I can't fuck with those people. We just cast the net, and the right fucking fish show up. If they're attracted, right? If you do something you believe in, the right people for you will show up for you, and they'll be a part of it. BFKC, where do you get your Mylar bags from? And if you were going with one size, what would it be? Got a harvest right last fall, and I'm getting into the groove of running it. Want to standardize and buy bags by the case. Okay, she's going to tell you some things here, but what I'm going to tell you is you have a moneymaker. You don't need to standardize on one bag. Forget that bullshit. Get the bags you actually need. You bought a harvest right, it came with an impulse sealer. That means that you can take those bags and you can cut them and make them different sizes. Now, you're going to throw that other stuff away for the most part to make them smaller probably. But we don't buy harvest rights bags. They're printed and shit. I want to see what's in my bag, or I want a bag that I can just write on with a Sharpie. You don't need to pay harvest right. We buy bags 1,000 at a time. They come in a case, and you might not know this, but you can set up a wholesale account a lot of places. Like, we should be selling bags. We have probably a dozen size bags in there, up to 7-gallon bags, and we buy them by the 1,000.
So I was going to say, I buy the Mylar bags by the 1,000 from Uline. Uline has the best price for the best quality bags that I have found. I've tried a couple of different vendors for bags. I like the Uline bags. They're black. They're gusseted. They have a nice seam. They close tightly. They're matte, so you can write on them. I just use a silver Sharpie. Typically, if I'm going to make meat or anything like that, I'm going to use a bag that is, I think it's 7x11. I think that's our bigger one. And then I use a 5x8. I think it's 5x8 for 10 eggs. But I buy all of our stuff through Uline. It's easy. I order it one day and the next day it shows up. It's inexpensive, and a lot of the time, the more you buy, the less it is.
There is no piece. There is no wholesale through Uline. Uline ships is divided. I think they're divided into 3, if not 4 zones now in the United States. So they basically just chopped the United States in half and then in quarters. So when you order from Uline, they distribute from the warehouse closest to you. Mm-hmm. So when we order Uline, it comes in the door the next day, and we don't pay much on shipping on Uline. Is there even a shipping price, or is it built into the price? And you can buy.
I don't remember.
Uline, if you're running a business, Uline has everything. I mean, from
so when the great toilet paper shortage of the United States, Uline had fucking toilet paper.
So did Lowe's.
So did Lowe's. Uline had hand sanitizer. They had antibacterial soap. Like, they had all of the things that people couldn't find in the store.
They were just out of the grocery store because that's where the retards are. Lowe's had 3 aisles of hand sanitizer and Clorox when nobody could get it.
Yep.
All your Lowe's Home Depot stores had that shit. So you can get racking and shelving and everything you need from Uline. Now, you can find cheaper places. The key is, if you want to buy in bulk, you just search wholesale pricing and whatever it is, and all your search engines are completely fucked now. Like, your first page of Google, it's almost all paid advertising.
It's fucked.
So you got to go 2, 3, 4 pages back, and that's where you'll find stuff at. We really should be selling Mylar.
Well, and I was going to say, it's really easy to just say, oh, go look it up on Google, but you don't know what you're getting, right? And if they only sell wholesale, now you have 1,000 bags, and maybe the zipper sucks, or maybe they're flat bags instead of gusseted bags, and now you have to have some fucking contraption to hold the damn bag open when you're putting your freeze-dried whatever in there, like get the gusseted bags. get one that you can write on. If you're buying silver bags, you could probably write on it with a black marker, but if you buy black bags, you can write on it with a silver marker, and it's visible and it's easy to see.
And you can get them where they have the clear window also. You can get clear bags.
The clear ones they will not last as long as a straight Mylar bag, which is why we put our eggs in straight Mylar, not the one with the window. And as far as standardizing, I totally understand that because you want your bags to all be the same size. But like, if you say you freeze dry, you've got chicken on one and shrimp on another, and you got some pineapple and you got some bananas. Well, obviously you're not going to put all that shit in the same bag, right? So are you going to
Are you talking about on each tray?
Yeah. Are you going to
freeze dry all that shit in this one load? It'll all taste the same.
No, well, you can't take this gigantic ass bag and fill it this high with banana chips, and then your chicken is like it doesn't make any sense.
The same dipshit that's running 5 different things in a load like that could.
Well, I mean, a lot of people do run different things.
Listen. I know that you bought a $3,500 minimum. You paid $3,500 for your freeze dryer, right? Upwards of $5-6 now. I know that's a lot of money. And I know a lot of dudes that scrounge to get that thing and they can't buy the bags. Just look at it as an investment. When I said that thing makes money, what?
My stomach's growling.
When that thing makes money, you have the ability to make money, right? Freeze dry candy with that thing.
Yep.
Sell the candy, buy your supplies.
And freeze dry fruit too. Like that's one thing. If you have a fair or a farmer's market or a gun show or a craft show, or if you have any of those things, freeze dry fruit and take it to the fucking church with you and give out little samples, and
you don't even have to
sell that shit.
You don't even have to get a table at the farmer's market. Walk around and just check this out, and hand them to people and go, hey, I got bags for $10, right?
Yeah.
You can bootleg that shit, man. Do it guerrilla warfare style.
That's right.
Do you guys remember
or sell it out of your trunk at Walmart.
At gun shows, they used to always have the guy with the stick in his backpack that had
Yes.
a sign that said ammo.
Yep.
Like put free kittens, and when they come up, be like, I don't have kittens, but I got these. You know what I'm talking about. And then with the gusseted bags, they're kind of triangular, right? So they open up, but the gusset, it's number one, it's easier to fill. You put your little funnel thing up there and just fill it up, whatever. But when
I use a canning funnel.
As the guy that packs all that shit up, right? She gives me the bags. I take the bags and put them in the cardboard boxes. And I know you spent all this money and it's a big outlay. But in the long run, when you start running stuff, run whole loads of shit and just get you a case. We buy cardboard boxes specifically in the sizes that we want to hold 6 number 10 cans or whatever. And you put your gusseted bags in there. And I stand them up, boom, 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 boom. And then I take the next ones and I put them upside down and they wedge right in the gap. I want as much food product in a box and as little air as possible. And it works really, really well. And those boxes, I can stack them all the way to the roof and just build a wall of these boxes and clearly label on the front what is in these things. So I know you're going to build up, and in a month you're going to fill up a box of eggs, and then you're going to fill up a box of ham, and you got a couple boxes in the corner. What I tell her all the time, I'm like, get that freeze dryer running. It's not making money sitting here empty. That thing should run 24 hours a day. When we pull a load out, buy an extra set of trays, so while we're washing one set, there's another set going in there. Run that machine. If we don't have anything prepped to run it right now, put gummy bears in it. Get it running. It's not like we're not going to sell this shit.
Yep. I just ran gummy bears. I'm about to put another load in so that I have some for SRF.
And I've got 400 eggs sitting in here. We've got eggs coming so much. My employees aren't even taking them home. They've got so many eggs. I'm giving eggs to a friend of mine that runs a business. I'm giving them to him 120 at a time. Not even charged, just giving them to him so that my dogs eat so many eggs.
They don't eat dog food.
They can't even. They're not even eating right now. I go out there and they've ate eggs that the chickens have just laid on the ground. They're not even hungry.
But their coats are so shiny.
Yeah, they're good. So I think we answered your question
I
there.
had a question about the freeze dryer when it comes to electricity. Number one, is it just a regular 110 or is it
So
220?
so it is 110.
Uh-huh.
The large has to be on a dedicated 20 amp
Service.
Okay,
service.
so there's a little bit of work to that.
Well, no, there's really not.
There's
Here's what
really
that
not.
means. Here's what that means, right? So if your wall in your wall in a room or whatever has a couple outlets,
You just keep
you
it on
can
that
get away with it. Just don't plug any shit into the other one. You have to have a different plug, right? We run pigtails. Same thing for all the commercial gym equipment upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I have a treadmill and a stair stepper and an arc trainer, everything side by, but I don't run them all at once, right?
Yeah.
So I just have because it has that 20 amp plug, I just plug that in, and then when I need another one, I just take one out, plug
We have
the
an
other one in.
adapter.
Yeah.
You can fabricate an adapter.
Yes.
So the second question is there a point to where you're running it so much that the cost of running it is gonna
No.
be more?
We don't even notice it.
Okay.
It really, if you're paying a retarded amount for electricity, maybe. But
And if you really want to know, you can buy a box. It's
Right.
called a kilowatt,
yeah.
and you plug that in, and then you plug this in, and it records how much power it actually used. And then you can take and look at your bill and break it down and math it out.
But for us, like we already our electric bill is already so high.
Yeah.
I don't see, like, if I ran it every day for a month and then didn't run it at all for a month, I'm not going to see that much difference.
That's interesting.
Like, it's just not that much difference. And, I mean, like I said, I mean, if you are on a fixed income and you're already, like, at the end of your budget, maybe it might make a difference.
If you're on a
But,
fixed income, you're probably not buying a $5,000
well, no,
machine.
but I'm making an
Yeah.
example. Like if you don't have any fucking money to begin with, maybe it might
people
be
people on a
deal.
fixed income, I have chickens all the time to get rid of, right? People on a fixed income, they might come get them, but it's typically not them, right? That's not who's
No.
coming to get them.
No.
There's plenty of free shit and low cost shit out there. It just takes more work, right?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking, so specifically with this, it's a large startup cost, but then after that, it doesn't seem like that much cost.
We're about to buy another one that's twice the size of this
Yeah.
one.
So it's just, so I looked at it as when you say you buy a pair of shoes and you spend a lot of money on it and you're super uncomfortable with it. Every time you wear those shoes, they cost you less per use, right?
Yeah.
So that freeze dryer, $5,000. Every time I use it, it costs me less per use, and I'm using it to make money also.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, in my opinion, that's a win-win.
Well,
Yeah.
the shoes wear out. The freeze dryer don't wear out.
Well,
like that.
but that was an example,
I know.
right? Like,
Well, that's what I'm saying. So this is a good, viable business idea for somebody who might have $5,000 to start a business.
It is.
But that's why I was curious about the electricity, because
Just keep your mouth shut.
And-
don't tell people you're selling this shit. Don't get your fucking food inspector in there. Sell like it's not a problem. It really is not.
and as far as the large startup cost, so Home Depot sells Harvest Right freeze dryers. You can go get a Home Depot credit card,
yeah,
order your Harvest Right freeze dryer online, use your Home Depot credit card, get 5% credit or whatever it is that they're going to do, and make payments on it.
You can.
Harvest Right also has a layaway program.
Well, Home Depot also does six months zero interest.
yeah. That's
So
where it's
if you
at.
can't make that money in 6 months,
You shouldn't be fucking with it anyway. So it's the startup cost. You can diffuse that in several different ways.
Do you know if Lowe's has them, or is it just Home Depot?
I am not sure.
Because
dude, I'm pretty sure Walmart has them through their shit
I know
now.
Tractor
Tractor
Supply.
Supply.
has
But
them.
listen, guys, if you're buying one of these, do whatever you need to do. But if you're seriously going to buy one, we have an affiliate code. It's on our website, and when you click the link, it takes you to Harvest Right and auto populates it. It gives us a couple $100 off of that order as a thank you, because we're having this conversation constantly. If you are going to buy one from Harvest Right, please use our affiliate code. If you're going to do some creative financing or something, more power to you. If there's anything we can do to help you, let us know. We'll be happy to have the conversations with you.
Well, what I was going to say was there's kind of a trick for buying large stuff at Lowe's. It's you sign up for their credit card and they give you I think it's 5% off of whatever you buy. Then if you're a veteran, I think they give you 10% off. And then if you sign up for their Lowe's for Pros program, you get like another 10 or 5. So if you want to buy a huge item, you could get 20%, 25%
That's smart.
off. Yeah. So, and then if you put it on the credit card, and that is that's not consumer debt. That is debt that is going to make you money.
Unless they don't pay
Unless
it,
they
then
don't
it is consumer debt.
Yeah, like if you're buying
People will convince themselves of all kinds of shit, but once they have it, those endorphins are gone.
Yeah, that's a problem. You have to watch out for that. But if you're making money on it, it's okay to have a loan for it. That's like the basic.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I gotta pee.
Oh my God, what is wrong with you?
It's just the time of day where I pee.